Hi, guys. Thank you for joining. This is Essence of Science, and today we're talking about cats. I'm Amanda Armagost.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence, Science of Cats.
Yeah, exactly.
Why did you choose this one?
I chose the topic of talking about cats just because, actually, to let everyone know, I did recently adopt a cat. I had a cat already who was 10 years old, and I thought that maybe she was getting lonely being an only cat, especially because I travel a lot. So you already know where this is going. So I talked to a psychic to make sure that it would be okay.
Science podcast. This podcast is Essence of Science, and this miss went and talked to a psychic.
An animal psychic, and
psychic, even better.
And she said that the cat would be okay with having another cat, but she doesn't really require one. So I did a little bit more research into cats, and they're not as solitary of creatures as we thought. And I did learn a lot about cats, so I just kind of wanted to talk about it. But to start off with, yes, they are fighting all night, mostly at night. So it's like I wake up.
How do they fight?
Okay, so just for the storytelling purposes, my older cat, who's 10, her name is Chimmy. My younger cat, who's 3, her name is Ollie. Or Shaken was her nickname as well, but mostly we'll call her Ollie for the story. So Chimmy is very possessive because this is her home. Ollie wants to please, and she's also younger. She's not younger in cat terms, but younger than this cat. So she's 3. So Chimmy is growling at Ollie all the time, and then Ollie gets sick of it and then attacks Chimmy. And that's pretty much how they fight. It's not a lot of scratching, except for this morning. It was like a big ball of cat. But that's why I chose this topic, is because I wanted to talk a little bit about what I've learned about cats so far, that actually they do like to be in groups. Cats naturally like to form cat colonies. In the wild, feral cats will form colonies with each other and watch out for each other, keep each other warm, hunt together, things like that.
Cats that grow up with each other, they do have a colony and group behavior, but generally cats is a big group of animals.
Mm-hmm.
We have anywhere from
tigers,
lions, leopards, and so on, all the way to our house cats. And obviously we know from lion they are herd animals. And as a matter of fact, they are herd animal in a sense that there are lots of female,
mm-hmm.
and they're all sisters. So if if Simba was going to marry the other girl cat, was going to marry all the sisters as well at the same time. No, but many of the cats are actually solitary animals.
I think that's a common misconception based on your experience, because
tigers are
no, I'm talking
animals.
About feral cats.
Okay, well, cats. I'm talking about the cats as a general.
Yeah.
They come in both flavors.
Mm-hmm.
They come in as a solitary or as a herd animal. And we know from house cats that the house cats that they grow up together, they are very good to each other.
They groom each other.
Yes. But if they don't grow up with each other, it sometimes can be difficult for them to get along.
They take some more time to warm up to each other, but it's not impossible like you think.
Yeah. Now let's talk about why our dogs are always
Well, we're talking about cats.
But why are dogs always herd animal when cats are not always herd animals? Why are they not why are not all cats like lions? What is the difference? But do you have any idea why?
Well, cats are different, just like all monkeys. Not all monkeys are the same. Different types of cats are going to be different from each other.
Yeah. Now, it is obviously there will be some differences, but all monkeys are social animals, mm-hmm. all of them. There's not a monkey that prefer to be solitary and so on. Now, we know from lions they are herd animals because they take on prey multiple of their own size.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only one way you can overcome an animal that is much, much larger than you. If you are as a group, you go. So like lion takes on bisons and even elephant and giraffes. They take on them and they work out strategy together to bring the prey down. Now, many of the cats that are actually solitary, they take care of animals smaller than their own size, and that is what as well you see the difference between if you have a cat and a dog. They see how they behave toward other animals. The cats sit down, try to camouflage themselves and go very slowly, and the dog jump in and start barking. And because in a group animal, multiple, some scares, so and to lead the prey to a awkward position, and then they get attacked from different sides. So that makes sense for dogs to do that, or for lions and so on. But for most of solitary animals, we see that they are well camouflaged. They are night creatures and so on, and because they have very good vision and so on. And obviously, we know from, for example, from a tiger, that their area is hundreds of square kilometers. Now, like for a regular cat, maybe a room or a house is their territory, but for tigers, there are hundreds of kilometers. And if another tiger appears, that they are going to fight for that territory. And it's about what amount of territory can support a top predator like tiger and so on. Now, generally as well, we see that the cats have developed a kind of a metabolism that they can eat only certain kind of food.
Cats have house cats do have a very specific stomach, and they're known to get sick pretty easily. My house cat, Chimmy, she only eats one kind of food. She won't even eat fish. She only eats purine and proplan. And she actually, if she eats another food, sometimes throws up a lot. But then my other cat who I just adopted, she was a stray, and she eats everything. Like last night, her and I were fighting for probably 30 minutes because I was trying to eat a salad, and she was trying to eat my salad. And however many times I pushed her away, she kept coming back, purring the whole time, trying to manipulate me with her little purrs to eat my salad. And the thing that I've noticed about this cat, I think it's because she's a stray, she doesn't get sick when she eats anything.
Mm-hmm. Now, generally, all cats have a short, small intestine. So what that means that they can eat only things that they can break down quite fast. That means practically zero fibers. That just makes them sick. And so I'm a little surprised that your cat is going for your salad.
I think it's similar to how babies, if you start feeding your baby stuff early, then your baby can tolerate more. Because I've had other street cats that I've adopted, and they were the same. Like I had this street cat I adopted from Mexico. He would go in the garbage and eat everything. It didn't matter what it was, and he never gets sick. Yeah. He's actually 17 now.
Now, generally, one of the important things is that at least something that is we believe is that the cat do not have a taste for sweet, contrary to dogs, that they taste like human, they taste sweet. And most of our human nourishment is actually carbohydrate. That is our body, especially carbohydrate in long chain starch like grain and so on is extremely good for us. That is, cats probably can break it down if it's the same kind of starch that what we eat, but they don't have a taste for sweet, so they have a natural aversion to fiber and anything. Now, in nature or in our life, we see cats eating salad and so on, but that's mostly if there's oil on that. Now, catnip is different. Do you know why cats go for catnip?
Yeah, catnip makes them high the way marijuana makes cats.
Yes,
makes humans high.
Yeah, it is. It's like a. It's not
also,
like a nourishment.
Back to the fiber thing. Cats, like dogs, eat grass sometimes to make themselves throw up.
They do. No, well, there is biology is something marvelous. Our biology makes us eat what we need. What we need. Now, you can go very extreme. Like, have you heard of those pregnant women that eat dirt?
Yeah.
Now, there's even a name for that behavior, right?
Yeah, I remember when I was taking psychology, learning about this boy who was 3 and he couldn't stop eating salt because he had that disorder. He needed salt, and they cut him off from eating salt because they thought like he's just being a kid, and he died because he needed salt, and that's why he was eating so much.
Yeah, well, the biology is as well. That's shown that over the millions of years, we have a taste for things that our body really need. That's what the taste is.
Yeah.
And cats and dogs and other animals are the same. Obviously, if they are short of some minerals or some other factors that their body needs, once a while they will eat grass, they will eat whatever they need, and so on. But that's not their typical nourishment.
Yeah.
The typical nourishment for cats is mostly protein and fat.
And I'm like, cat people say that you should only feed your cat stuff that's smaller than them. Like, you really shouldn't feed your cat beef cat food because it's not something that they would necessarily be able to eat in the wild. You should mostly
Makes
feed your
sense.
cat fish and, well, not a lot of fish, mostly actually feeding your cat chicken because a lot of the fish has like heavy metals in it these days.
Now, another thing about the nourishment and what cats eat is that, have you ever watched a cat, or big or small, eating another animal?
No.
No? Okay. Well, we have a cat, and this cat, obviously, in summer, would just catch whatever was outside. Barely would eat inside. And a few times, and brutal, obviously, we watched the cat, getting a small little bunny, and they go for the soft tissue. As a matter of fact, that's mostly what they go for, like, intestine, liver, and so on and so forth. And as a matter of fact, I think in nature, most of their fluid, like hydration, water, they get
comes from their food.
From their food.
Yeah, cats aren't known to go looking for water, actually.
Yeah. Now, is that the first 2 cats you have had?
No, I've had cats my whole life.
Okay. So, what do you notice in the different behavior of the cats and their surrounding?
Every cat is different. The cats are like humans. They all have their own personality. They all have like different wants and desires. Like, some cats like to be scratched on their ears. Some cats like to be scratched on their tail. But cats do get very attached to their humans. I've noticed that for sure. Actually, growing up, I've had a cat that we let it outside. Every single day, she would bring me half a mouse or half a bird. Always half. She eats half, and then literally right down the middle gives me the rest.
Half did you get?
It just depends. Sometimes,
top or bottom?
No, it literally depends.
But did you see in any of those cats? Did you see intestines or liver or anything like that?
I was usually crying, picking it up.
I bet you wouldn't see that, because that is the part they eat, and they bring you the things that
No, stop making judgments on cats, because cats actually really love their humans, and they're feeding you. They're not giving you the leftovers. They're trying to make sure that you can...
That's exactly what I'm saying, that they are giving you the leftovers.
They're not giving you the leftovers. They caught that food and they're bringing it to you because they think that you're a big cat and you don't know how to hunt and you're pretty bad at being a cat.
Did you cry because we were so happy?
No, I cried because I had to pick it up.
So, this cooperation between humans, you're talking about this actually very crucial thing. It is cooperation between human and cats. Why even do we have cats?
Well, the cooperation between humans and cats does go very deep, and I can get very woo about that. But we have cats to protect our farms from the mice. And cats have us to keep them fed and keep them warm.
So, about 40,000 years ago, we started from being hunter and gatherer, started becoming more farmers. And 10,000 years ago, farming was the main way humanity support themselves. And farming is usually for grain, wheat, mostly wheat. In Americas, obviously potatoes and corn and so on. But in most of the rest of the world, grain, wheat, was the main ingredient of our food staple. Now, there are two enemies to our food supply: bugs
Mice.
and mice.
Mm-hmm.
Not much rats, mice, because of their number and so on. And
Which, by the way, I do want to do a podcast about rats next week. Thanks for reminding me.
yeah, but and if you have seen how cats behave toward both of them, bugs and mice,
Then you get it.
then you instantly get it where this cooperation is coming. Now, the cooperation could only go on because they don't have a taste for our grain.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a taste of sweet. Now, take a piece of just a regular, not sweetened bread. Keep it in your mouth for a little bit. And then after you keep it in your mouth for a little bit, you taste the sweet. Because your saliva already is breaking down the starch in the whatever bread or whatever it is. And then you see we have a natural affinity for grain. As a matter of fact, there is an old song. Have you heard of that shortening bread? Papa Liber. So there's an old shortening thing when in the Great Depression, sugar was unavailable. But there was people would make the bread, cook it prepare it in a way that the starch would break down and give it some sweetness, and that shortening bread. It used to be called shortening bread. That people will use even to sing songs about that. So meaning that in your culture probably you haven't seen, but in my culture, to keep the kids quiet, you would give them a piece of bread. They would start, just sucking on that piece of bread for hours and hours, and then literally would love to have that. Cats don't have that. Mm-hmm. You give a piece of bread to your dog, what happens?
Gobbles it right
It's
up.
gone. So, dogs were outside animals.
Mm-hmm. Cats are inside.
Cats were our inside animals because we keep our grain inside. We keep it there's that as well. I think it's lots of controversy. When did we start domesticating the cat? Or did we domesticate the cat, or did they domesticated us?
No, I believe that the cats domesticated us just from a scientific side, Toxoplasmosis.
And that's what we're going to talk about.
But also the other reason why I think that cats domesticated us is because they do really manipulate us a lot, like with their vocal cords. Cats meow. We were just talking about this. Cats meow only to each other, but not only only to us. Cats don't meow to each other. And not only that, cats meow to us at a frequency that is similar to a baby's crying, because that's supposed to make us like women especially want to take care of this cat, want to be around the cat. And then same with purring. Like cats, if you're into frequencies and things like that, do you know what I'm talking about?
Crystals and
like
so on?
Hertz, like the frequency that a cat meows, I wrote it down, is 25 to 150 hertz. And supposedly that's a healing...
Per. Yeah.
A low. That's a healing frequency.
Because kids crying is 1,300 hertz, which is the worst for human. We cannot, if you're in an airplane...
But you can't ignore it.
You cannot ignore it.
And that's why cats do that.
No. Cats have two different things. When they
they're
fight,
high-pitched meow.
They have the high pitch and they have the low pitch. Mm-hmm. The low pitch, the purring, is actually soothing.
Yeah, soothing.
The high pitch is come here
Feed
and
me now.
whatever you want. Do whatever I want you to do.
Yeah.
And they have them both. Yeah.
And cat people can actually distinguish between what their cat really wants from their meow. I know exactly my cat Chimmy. I know what she wants from her meow. My new cat, she's always purring.
Is that really the Chimmy, the one that I call Psycho always? Why do I call your cat Chimmy Psycho?
You're projecting.
No, because
she's the sweetest.
Yes, and she believed that. But she sits in some place and look slightly away from you, but then make sure that you see the cat, you see her, and she knows that you say if you go somewhere else, she comes and does it in the other room.
She very politely tells me that she's hungry and that's how, whereas my other cat tells me she's hungry by following me around the house, tripping me, walking in front of my feet, walking between my legs, eating my food, eating my dog's food, fighting with my dog. So
and that's why we call that one shekamu, which is in Persian means belly person.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think cats domesticated themselves or we domesticated?
No, I think it's a symbiosis, or symbiotic relationship. Same as dog. We thought we domesticate them, but I think it went both ways.
Yeah.
We have something for them. What do we have for the cats is an environment that they're protected from bigger, yet bigger animals. And probably originally the cats obviously came in all sizes and so on.
Mm-hmm.
But we choose that species of cats that they're not danger to our children.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you remember we talked about that? There are some group of herd cats. They literally get down bigger animals that are bigger than themselves, and there are other group of cats that they always go for animal, preferably half of their size.
Like
or
a
lower.
bobcat. A bobcat is a solo cat, isn't it?
Yeah, but the bobcat as well usually doesn't go for
big
animals.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It goes for smaller.
Yeah, it goes for smaller animals that are preferably much smaller than themselves.
But do you know bobcats actually purr?
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because the last time I was with a bobcat and we were cuddling, it was.
You were cuddling a bobcat?
No, I know that because I looked it up. Because something about the larynx needs to vibrate a special way, and the cats that roar like a lion, tiger, they can't purr because their larynx can't vibrate. But like bobcats can. Surprisingly, raccoons can purr.
Yeah. Well, I have seen actually a line in zoos, and I have heard them. It put the fear of life in your bones when they do that.
Do their roar.
Yeah, it's the whole. I think the whole wherever you are, everything vibrates and shakes. It's very deep, very threatening. But coming back to the cats, about domestication of the cats. Now, they go for animals smaller than themselves. So we domesticated kind of cats or promoted that they're not danger to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because believe it or not, in some countries until not recently, the main reason you would lose your children beside infection and so on is
big cats.
Big cats.
Mm-hmm.
They come and get you. I mean, for big cats, depending on the size, we are food for them.
Well, we were just in India and one of our friends' dogs got eaten by a jaguar.
Yeah. So and this is but not even long ago, you would be in danger of losing your children, your toddlers, to cat. So talking about domestication, so there is a reason house cats are the size of the house cats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is a special species that we co-domesticated each other, and we went for the symbiotic because they are not danger to. They don't go for your child. It's even your small child, your newborn, is still same size or bigger than your cat.
Yeah.
Okay, so they wouldn't go for that, but as well, all the animal in the house, bugs and the mice and so on, are exactly the size, just the size perfect for them. Now,
because like a big cat isn't gonna go for a bug, right?
No.
No need.
And if you have seen, almost everybody who has a cat knows that you have this little thing like a feather or laser that drives them absolutely nuts, right?
Yeah, but you aren't.
Who hasn't seen that?
You aren't supposed to play with lasers.
Well, but we know how it works.
But you know how it works, yeah.
How it works, meaning that you see something small that's moving, bugs.
They want to go for it.
They go nuts. They absolutely. But imagine now, you're not in your house, everything. Your house has 1,000 holes. at any moment, bugs and so on, they come in and so on. And even, I mean, I'm sure everybody has seen some of those videos that actually the cats bring you a snake
Oh yeah.
or half eaten. Or
Well, I've seen Chimmy has brought me animals. I've seen them coming, but then when I saw her coming with the animal, I went, oh, Chimmy, and she never did it again. She
Yeah.
just leaves them somewhere else, but
Yeah,
she
but-
still kills.
But you understand in that, imagine now if we go even 100 years back,
Mhm.
your house is not insulated. There are 1,000 holes there. Everything from outside wants to come to your house. And now you understand why it's important for you.
Yeah.
It's for survival, as a matter of fact, to have not one or maybe few cats, and they usually grow up with each other, and you don't feed them. This is a new thing that you order in Amazon, a box that comes with the cat food.
Yeah, but not only that, cats have like way more bone. Cats have more bones than humans. I think like
They have more bones than humans?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm telling you, cats.
good,
I'm not
good.
asking you. Cats have
Okay.
more bones than humans,
Okay.
but cats don't have a collarbone.
But that's why they can go through smaller holes.
Exactly.
Probably. Yeah.
That's how they can be so flexible and go through these small holes. So it's even nicer to have a cat in your house because you don't have to worry about like going in these small places to search for stuff because the
Mhm.
cats can, but also cats are clean, so they're gonna clean themselves. They're
They
going.
are.
Yeah, they're gonna go to the bathroom in a specific spot.
Have you seen though how far cats can jump?
I don't think I've seen like the maximum. But
Yeah, I think if you would compare it to human, you should be able to jump on a third floor from the ground. That is comparable to what you can. And the reason for that is like, imagine, when the human foot, imagine this is my foot, that this is my ankle and heel. That's not how cats walk.
They walk on their toes, right?
They walk on the toes, and their metatarsal, we call it, meaning the bone that is actually would be my hand, is long, and there is a tendon there that really absorb the energy when they jump and so on. But that as well can like have a snap motion, and they do walk on their toes. And another thing that's what you guys need to know: the part of the cat that has the nails, as is human, is the last joint of their finger. So if you ever declaw your cat, you're actually amputating the last part of their practically fingers.
Which I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to declaw cats anymore, at least in some places.
I don't know about that, but I just know that if you do that, you're not just
You're being
declawing them.
inhumane, actually, if you do that. To be honest,
They need
don't
to.
get a cat then. If you're worried about your
Yeah.
cat scratching you, maybe you should have a different type of animal.
Yeah,
Just saying.
that's mutilating.
Yeah,
actually, an
it
animal.
is.
That is then in a way. And if you have a cat like that, you cannot let that cat go outside. Absolutely not, because they're defenseless. That is their defense mostly
Yeah.
in real life and so on.
Yeah, but another benefit to having a cat on the farm, I think this might be a little bit newer science. I don't understand the science behind it. Maybe, hopefully you do. I just know it, that if you have your cat on your farm and your cat's living with your chickens, then your chicken eggs, when you eat them, you'll have less allergies to the things around you.
I haven't heard about that, but I know that people on the farm have generally less allergies. And as well, this is a fact that people who lives in third world country, not only they have less allergy, they have less autoimmune disease.
Yeah, we were just talking about that with our visitors.
Yeah.
About Africa.
Yeah. Now, this is actually has been shown that further you go to the northern countries, and you have less parasitic kind of diseases like worms and so on, and because and the reason for that, I'll come back to that, but these are the actual facts. Further you go from equator to north, you have less variety of life, because only certain kind of life can live in the colder places. Like you have more kind of life in rainforest in 1 square kilometer
than in the Arctic.
Than in the entire Sweden, probably. Okay. So, and then this is the fact. people who live there, they have less autoimmune disease, less allergies. But what we have seen that when they move to northern states or countries, after a generation and two, they adjust to the local rate of autoimmune disease and so on. Now, this is the speculation, but there are good evidence for that. There is that the reason for that is that when you're in the equator, you get exposed to so many things during your childhood that your body learns, number one, deal with it. Number two,
How to fight.
and fight it. And number three is that they eventually sees that doesn't see that as a huge danger. Now you go now to Arctic where you're exposed to very little biologic kind of antigens. Number one, your body doesn't know how to deal with antigen that it hasn't seen during the childhood. Number two, your immune system is built to fight. It is like a boxer. You put a boxer in a school, nobody to fight. Eventually, it's going to knock out a child because this is made your immune system. So, and that is the story behind many of autoimmune disease that your body starts fighting itself because it's just looking for a fight. And the idea is that when it's exposed to lots of things to fight and overcome those situations, understand those antigens, those molecules, and understand they are not a danger to you, you have much better kind of immune system now. And that is behind, they say, let your child play in dirt. They say that actually, okay?
Let your child.
And guess what? The best way to expose your children to all kind of antigen is have lots of animals.
Yeah.
And cats what are cats? They go wander everywhere and bring everything back home.
But I don't know if you've noticed this. Maybe it's just like my observation. This isn't based on fact or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like more and more people these days are having cat allergies. Or maybe I'm just meeting more people with cat allergies. But for example, I have obviously no cat allergies.
Okay.
And neither does my dad or my dad's wife. But my brother, who was born from my dad's wife, he can't be around dogs, can't be around cats, and he's deathly allergic to peanuts.
Yeah. And generally people who have allergies tend to have more allergies. People who have peanut allergies are more likely to have allergies to other things and so on. Like that's how you get people with a list of 20 allergies, whereas people who don't have allergies, they just don't have allergies. Now, part of the cat thing is I have I have heard that is not the cat itself they're allergic to,
and the saliva.
Yes, and especially the way they lick their body and the hair, and then the hair get dispersed everywhere, and that's how they get that. And I think I don't have a really good evidence for that, but I think I have observed that mostly these are indoor cats.
I was literally just going to say that, but you continue because I want to tell you my theory.
Yeah, these are indoor cats that, again, that in a very clean environment and that practically are exposed to lots of chemicals that we use in our cleaning. You practically remove the entire natural flora, microbiome of that home.
Yeah, so then maybe in a way the cat's immune system is weaker?
I don't know if the cat, I cannot really make any statement about the cat immune system, but I just know that we are destroying the entire microbiome, not only of ourselves, but as well of the cats when they are in a very clean home environment and so on. And our solution is always to remove more microbiome, not like people who are allergic to cat, but they love cat, they get those hairless cats.
They get hairless cats, or they're like on a lot of medications. They actually have to take medication every day or give themselves a shot every day.
That is our way. That is always have been our way. Instead of flow with the nature, try to overcome it.
But it's interesting.
Always backfires.
Because my Ukrainian friend's family says
Hello.
Hey, hope you're watching, but every medication everything that you put in your body, if it's a medication, you're putting it to take away the pain. It's actually taking something else. So if you want to take away your pain by taking ibuprofen, you're actually taking away something else, most likely. But actually, it's funny that you say that because growing up, obviously, I always had cats, but one of my cats at my mom's house was an outside cat, and that was my only cat there. I thought he was a magic cat because my friends would come over and they're like, oh, I have cat allergies. I can't be around him. And they could be right by this cat, and they never had allergies. They couldn't even tell that he was there. I think it was because he's an outside cat, and so he's exposed to more.
And no science of cats is complete without talking about toxoplasmosis.
We talk about this all the time, but yes, let's talk about it.
Okay, so what is toxoplasmosis?
It's like a relationship. It's pretty much like a chemical relationship where a cat makes you addicted to it.
Well, the details of that is not well understood yet, but there is this parasite, Toxoplasmosis gondii.
Mm-hmm.
It is a one-cell organism that has a life cycle. Part of that life cycle is in the gut of the cat. Yeah. And obviously, as it is in the gut of the cat, and when they defecate, they spread it in the nature. And that's another thing that's very interesting. Have you noticed that how almost every cat, they cover their feces and so on? It's as if the nature want to find a balance that it shouldn't spread unhindered, but still it seems that that Toxoplasma gondii produces in cat, which produces itself in the cat's gut. Then when it gets in the nature, it changes something, some chemical thing in other mammals to increase the affinity for cats.
Yeah, so
mice
want to hang out near cats.
Well,
when they get
and it's like suicidal. That is like, for us, okay, cute. But for mice, that is suicidal. Mm-hmm. You know, they have done that. And the cats, the mice that are exposed to Toxoplasma, their brain chemistry changes. They're actually attracted to smell of the urine of the cat.
Yeah, yeah.
And in human, there's some good indication that is how we now cat make us so. When you see a cat, especially a furry cat, you just want to go there and cuddle with them and so be close to them.
When I see a cat, I can't not smile. I just love cats. And when
you're addicted, you have probably toxoplasmosis.
It's okay. There's so I could be addicted to much worse things than a cat. But I just want to say some cat facts now.
No, but let's finish the toxoplasmosis, because the way we know that usually toxoplasmosis is harmless to human, except if your immune system is compromised, like AIDS. That is how we found out that then the toxoplasmosis Toxoplasma gondii can attack your body and destroy it if your immune system is not properly working. And the AIDS epidemic made us understand all the things more in 1980s and so on. And what we understand now that this life cycle, it seems that it's that is a symbiotic relationship between toxoplasmosis and the cat, because toxoplasmosis need the cat to thrive in their gut, but then it changed the chemistry of a mouse brain, so
the cat has more food.
Cats has more food. I mean, so it is a parasitic / symbiotic relationship.
Yeah, exactly. So we don't know exactly why cats purr or how they're purring. We know that they purr for a lot of different reasons, but did you know that sometimes cats purr when they're scared?
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah, because it's a soothing sound. So they're trying to soothe whatever is scaring them. Themselves and whatever is scaring them. But also when cats get injured, they purr because it's known to actually heal their injuries.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So when I have a headache, a lot of times I pick up my cat and I put her on my head and I try and To be honest, it does help. Like I wear her as a hat for a little bit, and it does help.
Are you sure that's not the Toxoplasmosis talking?
If it helps, it helps. I don't care if it's a placebo or not. But then some other things about cats is their whiskers are supposed to be as wide as their body because their whiskers are their little sensors, so they know what they can fit in.
I have heard that whisker in the cat has a lot of different function.
Mm-hmm.
It's sensory, especially in the night where the vision too close to you and so on. But yeah, that's a very interesting part of their biology and sensory. It is more than just piece of hair.
Yeah, and people think it's hair, and like their whiskers can fall out when they're stressed out, but you should never cut your cat's whiskers. It's not like cutting their hair or their nails. Also, their tail is obviously, you probably know, used for their balance.
Absolutely. Have you seen how they gracefully they navigate and how they walk on very narrow thing and so on, and always use their tail to balance? Yeah.
And their tail is also some of their body language. Like they flick their tail to let you know or let other animals know that they're upset. They move their ears to let people know that they're upset. Mm-hmm. But a lot of cat owners have probably seen their cats like sticking out their tongue like that just a little bit. That's called a blip. And they're using their tongue.
Can you do it again?
They're using their tongue.
Can you do it again?
You do it. They're using their tongue actually to smell their environment.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Well, lots of animals do that. As a matter of fact.
Did you know cats do that?
No, I didn't know cats
What other mammals do that?
Well, our chemical sensory, we separate it very arbitrarily, like taste and smell. It is at the end of the day, it's about gathering the molecule from the outside and analyzing them. And there is when you have a good wine, humans do that.
Yeah.
When you have a good wine, you have to take a small little sip, inhale, and then exhale through the nose and so on to get the whole flavor. Our taste and smell are more intertwined. And that is when you know that when you have a cold, everything is bland to you because your nose are stuffed.
Yeah.
So using the tongue to get all the sensory of the smell is across the entire vertebrate is a very common thing.
And then my last fact is another hippie fact. If you want
to, I'm happy you say that.
If you want to talk to cats, you should talk to cats the way they talk to you. Similar to how cats use a high-pitched sound. If you want to talk to your cat, if you want to tell her, no, come here, something like that, you should use a high-pitched sound because that's more likely to get your cat's attention than your normal talking voice.
And last thing I want you to know, don't do it, but if you would ever shave completely your cat, you notice they're much smaller than you think. And that is one of the things you remember again. They eat things that are smaller than them, but they fight each other. And cat fight is a word.
Yeah.
And it's in nature, it's all about the size. Okay, and whereas a lion, if you shave it, still a lion, and so on and so forth. And dog mostly, they're not much smaller, but if you shave it,
a lot smaller.
Cats are a lot smaller than you think. As a matter of fact, if you see them without their without the fur, they're not only they're funny, they look really whimsical.
Have you ever seen when the vets shave just the body and leave the head?
Yeah, that looked really funny.
But
no, go ahead.
You go.
No, and as well, I think it's important to know for the small size, they're extremely strong.
Oh, a cat can kill a dog.
Yeah, pound by pound. A cat, let's say a cat and a dog, same weight, same muscle weight. the cat is 7 times stronger.
So going off of what you said about it's all about size, I think that's why when cats are scared, they fluff up.
Yes. Yep.
That's
exactly what they fluff up to appear bigger, because then their opponent, again, it's about bigger. The size. Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. This was Essence of Science, and we talked about cats. I'm Amanda Armagost.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence.
Have a good weekend.